Hello, everybody. Welcome to Let's Learn Excel. I'm your Excel instructor. Today, we are going to cover dependent drop-down, data validation, data entry restriction with multiple criteria, drop-down with dependent variables, used name range, and dynamic name range. Guys, this is one of my favorite topics. And today, we are going to use dynamic, drop-down or dependent drop-down extensively. Please stay connected and keep on watching. Let me start with the dynamic named range. Let me copy this and let me reach somewhere and show you how we can create dynamic range. Guys, suppose what happens sometimes we have columns name available this way, and we have to create a data validation where we can select the value from a specified column one by one. Like when we click, data value should come, and subject to the discretion, subject to the user discretion, the value will get populated in the cell. So over here we actually have an idea about how to do that dynamic range. But let me show you an example which can help you. You know that data validation, if you do, it actually shows you eight values in the beginning, guys. Okay, if I select list and if I pass on this entire thing, you see the result over there. You can see the entire range. All right, but what if I remove these values? So you can see data validation. Let me highlight that. Okay, this is actually doesn't look good. So these are the values, only up to A5, and the rest are blank. How we can avoid these things? So for that, dynamic range or some functions which actually help us to make this range dynamic, they actually come and rescue us from doing this kind of stuff. Let me show you an example. This is possible through offset function. So why offset is mandatory here, you can understand from this example. Let me tell you this example. Control C and put over there. So before that, we have to understand what is offset. Guys, understand offset function, actually it returns cell reference. And this function in Excel returns a cell or range of cell. Actually, cell reference could be range or particular one cell, and that is specified number of rows and columns from a cell or range. So you can see these are the this is the syntax, and the argument reference, this is actually the starting point, guys. And rows and columns, this is the offset thing, and columns and height and width. Understand that if I tell you one example, from India, offset one row, so it means this is the Hyderabad. Or maybe if I tell from India, offset three rows, so one, two, three rows, this is Chennai. So offset means it goes in a descending way. All right. So if I tell uh, offset, offset rows two, offset column two, so it means it actually skip those columns. All right. If I give you an example, offset, offset of reference A12, I want two row down and one column, one and one. Let's see what value we get. Now Boston value we are getting, guys. So what is Boston here? From A12 we are telling two row down, one row down. Okay, this is from India, one row down, one row down. Or over there the value is two row down. So from India, two row down, one and two row down and one column. So you can see two row down, one column. All right. So if you put zero column, see the result, it will be Ahmedabad. All right. So you can actually explore more on that. But if I tell you, we have to use dynamic range in this, how we can use that? So let me type something, dynamic range drop down, dynamic range drop down, guys. Okay, so what we can do here, let me put this. First, we have to make one formula. So let me make that formula equal to offset. Understand this. I want this starting point. First, when you create offset function, remember to lock this function. Press F4, guys. Always, because this actually is the constant or fixed cell. Rows, pass zero value. and pass 0 value. Give the height. If you give the height, what is my count a function? Because we have already covered count a function over there, it will give you 5. If you have more values, of course it will give you more values. And don't forget to log this also. Press F4 guys. All right, and then now since we have only one column, so you can see width will always be 1 if we have one column. If we have more columns, so subject to the requirement, we can select those columns now. So now the formula is ready. So this is the formula which we have created guys. Now if we open this formula by pressing F9, you see all the values I can see in one go. If you put one more value here, a6, so you can see that a6 is also visible. This actually dynamic range is called just because this is the formula we have created, and this is the crucial part in this formula, count a, because the time you enter the value in this column, of course that count a will be passed to this formula, and accordingly it will keep on stretching. And this is our dynamic name range. Just copy this formula, or maybe this entire formula with equal to, and go to control F3 guys. Control F3. Control F3 is the shortcut key. Control F3 is the shortcut key to go to name manager. Otherwise you go to formula, and this is the long cut. This is the formula, and go to name manager. Otherwise you can select control F3 is the shortcut to open the name manager. Click on new, and then put the name over there, dynamic range. And here you have put the formula which we copied. As we have logged everything, you can see that okay. So now this range is created. Now you have to go to data and data validation. So here you have to select list, and you have to press F3 here. F3 is the, F3 opens the dialog box which has the list of named range. So you can select this and you can press OK. So as soon as you click this, these things you can see over there. And if you put some more values here, you can see, let me highlight this also so that it will be easy. A7 just now we entered there. You can see A7 is also visible. Guys, this is very much useful because the one which we use earlier, it is not recommended. All right, because the result was wrong. Because if you uh, select entire column, so it will of course give you all the result, but this is actually the value which we have, in one go. And you can have one more value, a8, or maybe a9, or maybe you can tag a10. Now you see the result. This actually looks better. It will give you only those values which are available in the respective columns. This is more useful, and keep on practicing. And now let me show you the formula once again. Let me press Control F3. Control F3 is the shortcut key to open the name manager. You can see the formula which we have applied in the sheet, and then we copied in the name manager. We have created a dynamic range, and then we call that range through our data validation function. All right, so here you can select to your requirement everything. So this part is clear guys. Let me jump to now next topic. So this is clear. Let me highlight this now. Using name range also we have covered. Okay, and now data entry restriction with multiple criteria. So this actually we will do, and data validation also, it is clear now with that example. Now it comes to data dependent drop down. Guys, understand what is dependent drop down. Let me tell you an example over there. If I tell you that someone will select the city, or maybe someone will select the country here, someone will select the country here, all right, and someone maybe select the city, all right, city here. So country here, city here. Now you have to understand, like whatever city is selected, accordingly the range or country also, gives the correct result. So user can select either India or USA, and as soon as you select India, the drop down should show you the Indian cities, and the time you select USA, the drop down should show you the USA city. So we have Seattle, Boston, Atlanta, Miami, Ontario, Richmond. In India, we have Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, Chennai, Kolkata, Surat, and Delhi. So they are also beautiful cities of our India. So now how you can achieve this task. How you can achieve this. If I select India, it should give the Indian cities. If I select USA, it should give the USA cities. So now let's do that. But before we get into this, we have to understand one formula, that is indirect function, guys. What is indirect function? Indirect function in Excel, we use to convert the text string into a valid reference. Again, I'm repeating, indirect function in Excel. Let me write somewhere. uh, Interactive function actually converts the text into a valid reference. So now this is the definition. Indirect function converts the text into a valid reference, guys. So now India and USA. So since I will tell you the shortcut also. Since India has this much cities and USA has this much cities, assume that this is only the table we have right now with us. So now select this entire thing, or maybe select this entire thing. Over in the name range, you put India. Okay, so India has become a range now. You can see that India has become a range now. You can select this. Here you can write USA. So now USA also has become a range. All right, guys, USA has become. But if we have, suppose we have multiple range, so we cannot go to every column and select this way. So let me, this is another way. You can, select the range and put the name over there and enter. But in the form, on the formulas tab, name manager also, let me delete this and let me delete this and delete this USC table also, so that it will be easy for you. So you can either you can go this way, you select this entire thing, or control F3. So you can see edit. Once you add it, or maybe you can see that new, because new range you are creating, right? So here you can see India. India is the name, and you can select the range over there. Equal to, this is my range. All right. So once you have this, you can see in the name and in the India, it has come this way. All right, this is clear. And accordingly, you can go to this name manager and new. So here you can select USA, and in USA also, you can actually select the entire range. So that will be reflected in a name box. You can see India and USA, both the name range are available over there. So guys, that's why we call it name box. You can see once I click this, you can see the small, name box screen is there. Name box is there, you can see that. Okay, so this is clear. Two range we have created, but there are other ways also we can create the name range. Let me tell you that way also. This is third way I'm telling you now. So I'm deleting that, and I tell you another alternative. Select this entire thing. You can press control shift F3. Understand now the shortcut to create name range. Control, I'm writing over there, shortcut for shortcut to create named range for multiple ranges in one go. Multiple ranges in one go. With this method, you can create n number of range. So now we have only two tables available with us. Control shift F3, guys. You can see top row. So once now, before that, you can see nothing is visible there. No name range is available. No name range is available. So we have to select the entire thing. Control shift F3, and it is asking where your header is kept. You can see top row. So once you have done that, you can see our India is there and our USA is there. Suppose you have maybe 100 ranges are available. So you cannot go one by one. All right, so you just select the entire things and press Control Shift F3. Control Shift F3 is the shortcut. So I can write over there Control Shift F3. Understand this. Control Shift F3 shortcut to create name range for multiple ranges in one go. So now we have created two range, India and USA. Now the challenge comes here. As I mentioned, we will use interact function that convert the text into a valid reference. So now let's make the drop down for India and USA. So let me type this value somewhere else. Maybe let me put that in a transpose way so that this is my country. country, country. All right. So I can highlight that and make it a list. Okay. Alt HBA. All right, guys. Now what we have to do here? So we have to create a name range for our country. So again, you have to select this. You can select this because the country, country, country. All right. So now you see, once you select the country, these two options are there. I'm going there. Maybe when you have to create the drop down, you have to select the area where you want to apply the data validation. Go to data validation, and now you have to select the list. And here you have to equal to and press F3 so that you have your range available with you. You can see this is also available. You can go anywhere. So whatever area you selected, it actually goes there only, but over there it is not available because we selected only this much area and it's not here. All right, so this value we have got now. Okay, so country drop down we are getting perfectly fine. But now the question is, if the user select India, so all our Indian cities should come in the next cell, so that user will have this kind of amazing feature, rather than going to Indian cities and US cities, which one his city he has to select. So we have to make his life comfortable or error free process we have to make. So now if we have USA, we have to do something so that our USA cities should be available. If we have India, so our Indian cities also available. So now what we can do here, just as I mentioned, select the area where you want to apply that. Go to data validation again, and understand this part, list, and here you can select indirect function. Indirect, indirect, indirect function, you can select this range. Okay, and but you have to lock the E column. So press F4. All right, E4. So E column you have to lock, and then you have to close this. And now see that if you see, our Indian cities are reflecting. Okay, India, so our Indian cities are reflecting. You can see the Indian cities, guys. All right, but now if I select USA, you can see our USA cities are available. All right, so now I'm selecting India, so my Indian cities are reflecting. Okay, if I select now USA, so now you see our USA cities are available. And now if I select India, you can see my Indian cities are available. If you select again USA, your USA cities are available. All right, so you see that now you can see it, select Seattle, Miami, Ontario, Richmond, anyone you can select, and you see that India, and you can select Kolkata. So this is called dependent drop down, guys, and this is how you can make make the best use of Excel. In Excel we have a lot more things to discover, and this is just one small shade where it can help you to explore more in that. This is the most used option or feature in Excel, where people are still unaware of that. But after you have watched this video, I'm pretty sure you will do some kind of magic in your office. And keep on practicing, and keep watching my video. Thank you very much. Now let me go back to index again, that we have covered this part also, guys. Now the one last part is left, data entry restriction with multiple criteria, guys. What is this data entry restriction with multiple criteria? Let me show you an example here. Okay, suppose this is a kind of A column. I want people should enter only the number which is less than 100. So that entry uh, cannot exceed entry cannot exceed, you know, 100. All right, so less than 100 only you have to enter. So less than 100 means 99, up to 99 only numbers can be entered in column A. So it cannot exceed 100, or maybe it cannot exceed 99. All right, so whatever way you tell, accordingly the result will come. In column A we have to restrict that. So how you can do this? You select some column, actually some cells you select. So you go to data, you go to data validation, and over there you have to use custom function. All right, in custom, maybe you can use time and any value or whole number. So it will come that way. All right, so now if you use custom function, so you can see that in custom function what we can tell, like this value. Okay, uh, this value is less than, you can say this value is less than 100. Okay, so it means it will always be up to 99. So now try that. Okay, so if you put some value, wait for some time. Yes, so if you put some value, value is coming in, properly. If you put 999, you're getting this error, guys. All right, so this is how you can restrict the value from being entered exceeding your stipulated limit. So now you see it is easily accepting 12, it is easily accepting 34, and now you can enter 67 and 89. You can tell that 3425. Now you see the result. This is the error we are getting. Okay, and the time you enter this value, it is telling cancel. So by clicking cancel, this value is going away. All right, if you put some value this way again, retry. So once you retry, then you can just this is actually the one. See, it will not let you go. You can just try that. So it will not let you enter those details which are restricted. So this is one way where you can restrict the number. All right, so now let me put another column also to highlight that. So in today's session, actually we will try to cover as much as possible in data validation. So now the condition is I column should not have decimal value. So what we want only a whole number. So what is whole number, guys? Whole number is nothing but complete full number or integer value. That is called whole number, no decimal. So in I column we want only whole number to be entered. How we can execute this? As I mentioned, when you apply data validation, either that where, see, it's wrong if you apply it through the entire column. Guys, never do that. Only you apply those cells where you have something to do with. Otherwise it will be difficult, or it will be kind of Excel will slow its performance. So never do that. And let's do this now. We want only whole number in column I. So I want this to be applied only I1 through I16. Go to data, go to data validation, and it's very simple. These are the options you have available with you. So whatever you want, you can restrict. You can restrict date. So once you click date, it will ask you between start and end date. You can put the date accordingly, and the date entered, beyond that it will not be acceptable. And now if you put the decimal value, it will give the decimal value, and if you go to any value, it will give the any value. Now I'm going in the whole value. So whole value, it is asking between. I'm telling 0 to maybe 100, or maybe 10,000 I'm giving. So now you see that if I tell it is accepting. Now if I tell it is accepting, but if I do this way, it's not accepting. Guys, understand, now it is giving that error. Okay, now if you do that, okay, if you put these values, so now understand why it is accepting here, why it is not accepting here. Because we have copied the data validation available to some extent, only to some 16th. So you can see it is accept, it is not acceptable. But if you do that, it will be acceptable, because there we have not applied, I think. Yeah, so till here only we have applied that. So this way you can do this kind of data validation in your day-to-day office things if you have something like that. Let me show you one more example of data validation. Okay, so you can explore. You want decimal value, you want time, you want list, you want custom text length, or maybe let's do with text length also. Okay, so in P column, let me highlight that. In P column, I want only length of the string. Length of string should not exceed 10. So I want only 10 characters maximum in P column. How I can avoid that, being written in P column more than 10 characters? You select this area, go to data, and now go to data validation. Here you can select text length. So text length, it is asking, you can minimum 1 and maximum I want 10. So this is amazing. And now let me highlight this with different color. So now you see, if I type hello hello India, so it is not accepting. You know why? Because hello India has how many characters? More than 10 characters. All right. So now if you write India, it will accept. All right. And now if you write over there some kind of characters, it is not acceptable. But now if you write this much characters, it will accept. So now you understood how we can use the data validation and where we can use data validation. So now I give you one more exercise. Maybe you can try. You can use this data validation to one column where you have some values, like you are, you are arranging a fund from your colleague. Maybe you are collecting some birthday money from your friends. So you have the list of 100 people. So if Amit is giving you 50 rupees or maybe 60 rupees, whatever. So you can see that the budget should not exceed more than 400 rupees. So you can restrict that with the formula in custom. Like if the total is more than 400, it should give that error that now the budget is over. We have organized, we have collected the entire money, and after that you can stop asking. So this way you can create your own examples. It will help you to understand a better way. So I hope this entire series, which is designed for dependent drop down, you found this useful. And stay connected, keep on watching my video. Thank you very much for your time. Have a good day. Bye bye.